A few weeks ago, something interesting happened which kind of went under the radar. India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal took pot shots at the Indian startup ecosystem.
What are India's startups doing today? We are focused on food delivery apps, turning unemployed youth into cheap labor so the rich can get their meals without moving out of their house. And against that, what does a Chinese startup do? Work on developing electric mobility, battery technologies, and with that, they're today dominating the electric mobility ecosystem. We are very proud of what India has done. But are we the best in the world as yet? Not yet. Should we aspire to be? Or are we going to be happy being delivery boys and girls?
So, according to Goyal, while China is building electric mobility and artificial intelligence, we in India are churning out gluten-free ice cream and cheap delivery apps for rich people who don't want to get off their asses to, go buy Maggie, I guess. What he said was harsh. It's actually really rare for someone from this administration to lay out harsh truths like this. But here's the thing. There was one Indian startup which was doing exactly what Goyal Sahab was asking for. This startup was not making vegan ice cream or fancy cookies or whatever else he is annoyed by. It was building an all-electric, zero-emission cab fleet. Meet BlueSmart, the startup that wanted to take on Uber and Ola with an fully electric fleet and full-time drivers. Basically, no gig workers, no emissions, no nonsense. It was doing legit innovation in the mobility space. It was hailed as India's answer to sustainable electric mobility as well. Even celebrities backed it, investors threw in a lot of money into it, like millions of dollars in multiple rounds of funding. To be honest, I have been a loyal customer of BlueSmart since the pandemic. I liked the company and what it was doing. The drivers were polite, cars were clean, and they provided a good service. They came on time and it was just easy. It was nice actually. Then everything went to shit. Yeah, last week.
BlueSmart, the electric ride-hailing startup that promised to disrupt the future of mobility. But the wheels are now coming off. BlueSmart is reportedly exiting its core business, shifting from building a platform to simply supplying cars for rival Uber. But the real shock lies beneath the surface. SEBI has dropped a bombshell. Anmol Singh Jaggi and his brother Puneet, who are the founders of Gensor and promoters of BlueSmart, allegedly turned the electric dream into a personal piggy bank.
Turns out the only thing BlueSmart really electrified was the founder's real estate portfolio. And golf clubs? We'll come to that. But we really can't have good things. I've realized this. We cannot have good things as Indians. But what went wrong with BlueSmart? This is a video about how a promising startup which was on the rise fell down very quickly and shattered into oblivion. This is a video about Deepika Padukone, MS Dhoni and Ashnir Grover. Kind of. A little bit, okay. I mean, thumbnail pe chehre lagane the. They're great faces for the thumbnail, no? Yeah, you got attracted to it. Don't blame me. This is a video about the one thing that's holding India back. And no, it's not a lack of innovation or whatever that Piyush Goyal was saying. It is greed. On that, I have a bunch of thoughts. Let's rewind for a second to 2019. Two ambitious brothers, Anmol and Puneet Jaggi, launched a startup called BlueSmart. Their pitch, basically, let's be Uber, but woke. Yeah, we are going to be a woke Uber. Instead of diesel guzzling chaotic cabs and unpaid gig workers who are extremely frustrated, BlueSmart promised a clean, green and guilt-free ride. No surge pricing, no last minute cancellations, salaried drivers, silent electric cars, charging infrastructure, and a decently designed app that doesn't give you a brain aneurysm. They knew their customer base as well, by the way. For example, a few weeks ago, they launched a pet-friendly service, pet-friendly rides. They had pet-friendly drivers with pet-friendly interiors in their cabs, and I mean, I have to be honest, it feels like the company was anticipating my needs and was like, ये लो, तुमको आलू को लेके जाने का है कहीं पे, ये लो. I'm like, dude, I like this. For those of you who don't know, Alu is my dog. I'm not talking about actual potatoes, which I put in a sack and put it in a Blue Smart and take it. Anyway, Alu is my dog, and I was very happy that they had a pet-friendly cab service. All I'm saying. In a space dominated by Ola's mood swings and Uber surge pricing, Blue Smart felt like a breath of fresh air. Quite literally, electric cars. Get it? Anyway, you booked a cab and it actually showed up. The drivers were courteous. They even rushed to pick up your baggage whenever you are going to the airport and put it in the trunk for you. The cars were clean. The AC worked really well. And the trip didn't feel like you were gambling with your life. It was weirdly good. Yeah. Even the rich and famous were on board, by the way. Blue Smart raised crores of funding from heavyweights like BP Ventures, MS Dhoni's family office, Renew Power's Suman Sinha, and of course, Deepika Padukone also threw some money at it. That's what justifies this thumbnail. Okay, don't blame me later. But clearly, Blue Smart was doing something right. The numbers also looked good, by the way. In 2023, they made 160 crore in revenue. That jumped to 390 crore in 2024. Their fleet went from 8,000 EVs by mid 2024 to they were planning to scale to 10,000 EVs by 2025. They claim to have completed over 1.5 crore rides with 8,500 EVs in their fleet and 5,800 charging stations in Delhi NCR and Bangalore alone. On paper, all of this looks very promising. So in 2024, Blue Smart raised a bumper $24 million in funding. The company was valued at $250 million on its way to becoming a unicorn. This legit looked like a startup that was sustainable, scalable, and dare I say, sane. I mean, they were not selling a Ruh Afza alternative drink saying that शरबत जिहाद हो रहा है at least.
और गर्मियों में अरे प्यास बुझाने के लिए क्या ये सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक के नाम पर ठंडा मतलब टॉयलेट क्लीनर पीते रहते हैं. एक तरफ टॉयलेट क्लीनर का प्रहार जहर, दूसरी तरफ शरबत के नाम पर एक कंपनी है जो शरबत तो देती है लेकिन वो शरबत से जो पैसा मिलता है उससे मदरसे और मस्जिदें बनवाती है. ठीक है, उनका मजहब है, लेकिन आप यदि वो शरबत पिएंगे तो मस्जिद और मदरसे बनेंगे. और पतंजलि का गुलाब का शरबत पीते हैं आप, ये शरबत पिएंगे आप तो गुरुकुल बनेंगे, आचार्य कुलम बनेगा, पतंजलि विश्वविद्यालय, भारतीय शिक्षा बोर्ड आगे बढ़ेगा. इसलिए मैं कहता हूँ ये शरबत जिहाद भी, जैसे लव जिहाद वोट जिहाद चल रहा है ना, ऐसे शरबत जिहाद भी चल रहा है. चलो, आपको इस शरबत जिहाद से बचाना है तो सब तक ये शरबत में माने इससे टेस्टी फ्रेशनेस, ऐसे एक घुट पीते ऐसे लगता है ताजगी, मानो सारे ब्रह्मांड की ऊर्जा, एनर्जी, फ्रेशनेस आपके भीतर आ गई.
Sanity is very rare these days and I appreciate sane companies, just saying. Plus, it was doing the thing that Piyush Goyal is so annoyed by, which is electric mobility, innovation in that space. But then the money stopped going into electric mobility and cars and it started going into camellias in Gurgaon and credit cards and vacations and really expensive golf clubs. That's when it all went to shit. Yeah, let's talk about This is Anmol Singh Jaggi, one of the founders of Blue Smart. During an interview with CNBC in March last month, he said this.
I would like to start by saying that I am a son of an army officer and I am a very committed businessman and a person of high ethics.
Cut to April 2025, this ethics went out the window when he got caught in the biggest startup fraud that India has ever seen. Blue Smart, the poster child of clean mobility, which I told you about, turned out it is not so clean after all. Yeah, for you to understand this scam, I need to tell you about a different company. It's called Gensol Engineering. This is a company founded by the Jaggi brothers in 2007. It was a company that was providing advisory services to different industries who wanted to take advantage of the carbon credit system. Basically, they were consultants who were telling polluting industries कि कैसे pollute नहीं करते हैं. That's what they were doing. Oh, and also, while you are not polluting, how you can earn money also. Carbon credit. When India started making a push for renewable solar energy, Gensol was in the right place at the right time. They became one of the top carbon consultants in India around 2015. Then in 2019, they diversified into electric mobility when they started Blue Smart. So, here is how it worked. Gensol Engineering is the one that bought the electric vehicles. Then Gensol leased it to Blue Smart so that they can use these cars to run a cab service. So there are two companies at work here. One that owns the cabs, one that runs the cabs. In short, Blue Smart was using the cabs owned by Gensol to run its own service. In 2024, Gensol took a mega loan of 970 crore rupees from Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency Limited, IREDA, and Power Finance Corporation, PFC. This was to buy 6,400 EVs. Both of these are government-run companies, by the way. An year after taking this loan, they procured 4,704 EVs and had an excess of 262 crore rupees left out of the 978 crore that they borrowed from both of these companies. What did these Jaggi brothers do with the money? Well, they spent it to do some private fun things. 42.94 crore rupees was spent to buy luxury apartments for mummy. 6.2 crore was just sent to mummy. 2.98 crore was sent to wife. 26 lakh were spent to buy golf equipment. Yeah, because Camellias, you see, has a golf course in front of them. So one of the Jaggi brothers was like,
अरे golf course है, अब golf कैसे खेलेंगे? 26 लाख रुपीस का golf equipment खरीदते हैं, US imported.
Rich people live amazing lives, I have to say. 50 lakh was quietly invested in Ashnir Grover's new startup. I'm not going to talk about that much because why? Why? 3 lakh went to Make My Trip because I guess everyone needs a vacation after you have misused public money for personal funds, and it is very stressful, you see, especially when you're trying to also play golf in that golf course in front of the luxury apartment that you own. It's very stressful. Vacation mangta hai. And while all of this was happening in the lives of Jaggi brothers, they were also lying to the SEBI, which is the Securities Exchange Board of India. SEBI found out that Gensol falsified default documents to credit rating agencies. Basically, they wanted it to look like Gensol was doing really well as a business when it wasn't. You see, Gensol was buying cars from existing auto manufacturers. Then one day, they suddenly declared that they are going to manufacture EVs, not buy them, manufacture them. At the Bharat Mobility Expo in early 2025, they claimed that 30,000 people have expressed their interest in buying EVs from Gensol. 30,000 people looks great on paper, looks better in headlines, but they were basically all non-binding documents. But they called them pre-orders for two innovative new cars that they were designing and manufacturing called Ezio and Ezibot. Mota, they felt the vibes of the people who were showing up at their stall at this Bharat Mobility Expo, I guess. And when they were expressing interest, they were saying, "Arey, amazing! This is amazing! This is a pre-order right here." Basically, like, my business is doing well. Trust me, bro. Okay. So if they were going to manufacture EVs, they would need a factory for it, right? Yeah, a manufacturing plant. Well, they lied about that as well. An NSE official went to the supposed EV plant in Pune and found out that there is zero manufacturing happening and only 3 employees which were on site. Meanwhile, Blue Smart was happily leasing Gensol's EVs, racking up accolades and talking about expansion. Suffice to say, Gensol, the base company, was not doing any business except for buying and leasing cars to the other company, which is BlueSmart. They already had a loan of 110 crore rupees, which they couldn't pay back. They were defaulting on it. Credit agencies had downgraded their shares to junk. Stocks were into free fall. Directors resigned, and the entire board was hollowed out. And since this is a publicly listed company, SEBI stepped in and started investigating this shadiness. Also because loan diya tha government company ne. That's when they found the scam. Good job, SEBI. Finally acting like a regulator, I see. I mean, thoda to reputation ab fir se banana padega after the last time you did not interfere and regulate like you were supposed to. I mean, at least in this case, they are doing it. They won't touch the big guys, by the way. ये तो छोटे लोग हैं ना. मतलब क्या, मतलब बस 40 crore का एक घर खरीद लिया उससे. What Jaggi brothers should have done is they should have bought an airport. Then SEBI would be like, अरे क्या ही कर सकते हैं. But इस केस में they went after them. Anyway, जाते जाते let me give you another fun little detail that I found out. There is a company called Zenith Multi Trading DMCC, which owns 1.37% stock in Gensol, which is the base company. That company was run by a gentleman called Hari Shankar Tibrewal. And this guy was one of the accused in the Mahadev app scam. So, when the Mahadev app scam became public and the ED started investigating it, froze their assets and took over those assets, they also acquired 1.37% stock in Gensol. I mean, I love it when things like this come up during my research. Once you start digging into something and you don't know where it will take you. I mean, think about it. The Enforcement Directorate owns 1.37% of a company that leases electric vehicles to BlueSmart. What is this even? Crazy stuff. Anyway, as of now, BlueSmart has shut down its operations. There are rumors that Uber will acquire the existing fleet of BlueSmart EVs. That's ironic considering BlueSmart was started to challenge Uber and Ola. Well, BlueSmart officially has run out of EVs, ethics and excuses now. Sad life. So sad. So, what went wrong here? Why did a promising startup belly up and fail so quickly? Why did this scam actually happen? Well, the answer lies somewhere in the way we do business as Indians. On that, I have a bunch of thoughts. Tell me something. What is the biggest complaint we have against Indian startups? I think Piyush Goyal pretty much summed it up.
Or are we going to be happy being delivery boys and girls?
See, Indian startups, just don't innovate. Look at China. Look at what they're doing. They're doing AI. They're doing electric mobility. Did you see their bridges and infrastructure and bullet trains? Yeah. हमारे स्टार्टअप वाले क्या कर रहे हैं?
Our founders are just chasing grocery delivery and 10-minute chai and whatever else vegan ice cream is.
That's kind of a complaint that you hear quite often. But the thing is, BlueSmart was an exception. It was different, according to me at least. It was innovative, it was ambitious, its service was great, it was doing what Goyal wanted, which was building electric mobility, trying to disrupt monopolies, offering alternatives to a duopoly of Uber and Ola, all of the things. It was actually becoming a poster child of successful startups in India. What killed BlueSmart wasn't a bad idea, it was human greed. Greed which was enabled by a system that lets founders treat public money like personal wealth. It was fraud dressed up as vision. It was the result of a culture where scamsters run wild and get LinkedIn endorsements for being visionary disruptors. Remember that app called Koo, which was supposed to be an alternative for Twitter? It was given some award for like a disruptive social media app. Where is it now? Shut down. Gone. Yeah, that's the kind of shit the government promoted. Yeah, that's not innovation at all. You see, if India wants to build a truly world-class startup ecosystem, we need to stop glorifying this whole hustle culture and start asking, where is the VC money going? Where is it going, and is it going to the right places? For that, we need better regulation, and we need venture capitalists who actually do their homework before throwing money at shiny things. And we need swift punishment for financial fraud, because right now the only risk in running a scam is whether you get caught or not. Yeah, and how close you are to the government as well, and how much you suck up to them. That also is important. And if you do get caught, all you need to do is, again, suck up to the government more, donate to the BJP, and boom, you're free. Amazing. It's time we stop doing that. Can I say that? Can our government please stop doing that and just apply like an equal playing field for everyone? But maybe, just maybe, it's also time to stop putting our faith in venture capital messiahs and think about alternative business models. Strangely enough, our government, yes, this Modi government has put out an idea out there and is already working about it. They are going to start a government-supported, cooperatively run taxi service called Sahkar. Amit Shah announced this in Parliament last month.
और मान्यवर आने वाले दिनों के अंदर कुछ ही महीनों में कोऑपरेटिव बेसिस पर ओला उबर जैसी एक बहुत बड़ी कोऑपरेटिव सहकार टैक्सी आने वाली है जो 2 व्हीलर की टैक्सी का भी रजिस्ट्रेशन करेगी, जो रिक्शा का भी रजिस्ट्रेशन करेगी और 4 व्हीलर का भी करेगी, और उसका मुनाफा किसी धन्ना सेठों के हाथ में नहीं जाएगा मान्यवर, वो ड्राइवर के पास जाएगा। इस प्रकार की हम कोऑपरेटिव लेकर आ रहे हैं।
This app-based platform is being designed to function like Ola and Uber, but with drivers as stakeholders, not just service providers. Instead of squeezing drivers dry with commissions and algorithms, Sahkar aims to give them actual equity in the company, which is a share of profits and a say on how the company is run, like a cooperative society. I mean, of course, the government running an app-based tech service comes with its own red flags. I understand that. I'm not going to pretend it's going to be glitch-free or scam-proof or corruption-proof, but the idea itself, yeah, the idea of drivers being co-owners instead of just data points and things moving on a map, yeah, that's worth exploring. I, for one, am hoping that this actually works out. Because at some point, we have to stop asking questions like, who is going to build the next Uber? Who is going to build the next Twitter? Who is going to build the next Microsoft? Instead, we need to start asking questions like, who is going to build the next ethical business? Maybe, just maybe, the government will?
ये क्या बोल दिया? Government running a good business? Especially this government, the Modi government? कुछ भी बोलता रहता है, मतलब impossible.
I get the skepticism. I get it. But this whole current system of venture capital funded startups is not really working well, is it? Is it? So why not try something else? Look guys, as I said earlier, I liked BlueSmart. I was a customer, and it makes me sad that it failed so spectacularly. I have 1900 rupees stuck in their wallet right now, and I want it back as well. But while I want it back, I also want something better and something more ethical to exist to replace BlueSmart. And I know Ola and Uber is not it. The truth is, if we don't want something like this to happen again, we need to build systems where people can't just run away with 292 crore rupees and buy a 43 crore flat and still claim to be men of ethics. If we want Indian innovation to thrive, if we want our startup ecosystems to become better, we need to start treating ethical corporate governance as seriously as we treat fundraising PowerPoint presentations in a boardroom. Until then, we'll keep getting startups that are electric on the outside but hollow and discharged on the inside. Yeah, that's a lot of electricity and electric mobility puns right there. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Friendos, thank you so much for watching this video. Please do consider subscribing to this channel. please do consider supporting this channel. This is my job. This is how I do things. If you found my content interesting, please do subscribe. 100,000 subscribers tak jana hai. So please help out. I would really appreciate it. We are just this much away from 100,000. Also, I have launched a new series called Entire Political Science. 3 videos are out. You can check them out. I will leave a link in the description as well. That is a series where I'm trying to basically explain theory in a very applicable way. How does the government work? Why does politics exist? Very basic things which we do not really talk about. So you can check those videos out as well. And please do consider subscribing and support the channel. Thank you. See you. Bye.